Today is August 22nd, 23. Oh my lord. They started again. After everything. Them making fun of the FBI agent on June 7th, 23 for falling for the stunt on the tapes before Eric confessing November 18th, 22, Walmart 62 by the hair salon, how everything was him and not me and done for a stunt for people to turn on me. To them daring the FBI to fix it July 9th, 23 at Trinity Gospel. Okay? Meant they sold the login, made a ton of money. Well, you got to think. Well, who gave him the passcode to it? Huh? Who gave the passcode to it? Had it been John or Will. That's where Sunday I went with my client. We went out to Outback. People were in there talking around us. We all know that sheriffs and the marshals used her case to get all those people. Got 800. It was that big of a case. Went nationwide. Human traffickers, drug traders, human trafficking people. Just like the retired judge in Florida, human trafficking people. Pizza, Ohio contact. Setting up that he's a new mafia in this area. That he can human traffic people. He can break in people's homes. He can stalk them. There's no stalking laws. That he can have the drug cartel go in and date rape drug somebody so they're sleepwalking. Tell them to say something stupid. They wake up with a bruise, throwing up, heart racing. Worse, a personal infection. And he's letting the drug cartel human traffic people out of their own homes, and the victims aren't realizing what's happening to them. And they're going to the doctor for heart racing, massive headache, throwing up, dizzy, almost passing out, bruising they can't explain, and a severe swollen personal infection. They're getting human trafficked out of their own home. That's what they're doing. And they're photoshopping, they're Peking Tom stalking tapes, or the crackhead tapes. And then they set off a hate crime. The judge in Florida had 100 men working for him when he got arrested running scams and selling people. That's what Pete is doing. That's what this drug cartel is doing. They're using people's low IQs. They're the serial killers. They tell everybody, we tell you people not to say a word what's going on here. Why? Because they want to get away with selling women and children. 1,072 children were stolen from Ohio, not counting women, and from January to May of 23. I want you to think about that. Why don't they want them to tell on them? See, that's where those people in Outback, after they said, we know the sheriffs and marshals, used her case to get all those people. Those two agents need to go to jail for obstruction to justice, at the least. Because where did they get the passcode? To my phone and the technology? To download it into other people's phones? Or to hear through my car speakers? How'd they get the passcode? John or Will had to give it to him. The two agents laughing at me, they're that corrupt. They walked in to a federal police station, federal office, confessed to a federal cop that they were stalking somebody. They had Peking Tom tapes, voyeurism. You're automatically listed as a sex offender and you go to jail. They admitted they were taping me and Dave in bed. They were sharing it. They admitted that they had fake sodium pentothal reports. They were date rape drugging me and telling me say stuff. They were having me beat, bruised, and raped and human trafficking me. They were taping everybody in the bathroom. They had kiddie porn. They didn't arrest them. They were laughing at me on a recorded line before I'm listed informant. Where that guy obstructed justice so bad on a recorded line. The federal government, and they sold videos of him of the way he talked to me. So everybody that bought the login has that agent bullying me. Where I told him that guy threatened to knife me. They called me a liar. I told him, and this is where it's ridiculous, he's a known serial killer. The kidnapper for the human traffickers. They know his description. So when I gave him his description, he would have known who he was. Okay? Tell him that he had tried to kidnap me before. Terry let me tape her with her permission. She's seen him. He took Marlisa's niece, my house manager, and my co-worker Lori. They killed her family member. That's why they don't want people to tell. I told him he tried to kidnap me before he calls me a liar. Was there a camera above the bench? I don't know. Dear God, I almost passed out. Had to catch my breath and turn my cart in the bank and got in front of somebody. He said, was there a camera above the bench? I don't know. Then you say you're lying, I'll put you in jail. I'm like, what? He said, now you say you're lying, I'll arrest you. I'm like, fine, whatever. He starts bullying me into all kinds of false statements under threats of arrest. And then he's like, why would the FBI help a person like you? Well, they're trying to kill me. So. Well, they've tried to kill me. So. Give me a real reason. They all, well, we could use Pete's Weird with Your self-tape. Guy starts giggling. Stop. She doesn't know. Yells out about Pete something else. And I said, and he yelled out, stop. She doesn't know. And it's echoing into the phone. Giggling at a human trafficking victim they're scamming. I'm running a fraud scheme. A new version of human trafficking. Breaking in private homes, stalking them, date rape, drugging them, and letting men go in and beat and rape them. And then drug them up and tell them to say something stupid and Photoshop a shower scene. Okay? And they're stalking tapes. And then he's like, give me a real reason. Well, my brother-in-law was CIA. Worked under Dick Cheney. Described what, the private consultant for an FBI, unrestricted war weapons, spyware, spy satellites, and traveled the world. Makes him CIA. Final issue informant comes with $5,000 a month. Open an account today. No man will ever touch you. Okay? Nothing legally stated, dated against you again, and only for you and only for you. If we ever do this for, we'll always put it back as if it never happened, and you'll have that money to live on from now on for working this case. I'll pull you out if it gets too bad. Even when you tell, you'll have all that, da-da-da-da-da. Then he threatened me if I don't. That's where I told my friend from the prosecutor's office. That agent didn't have authority to talk to you one bit like that. And the only thing legal he did was list you informant with money. He said, and as far as the FBI, they can never drop you. They'll go to jail. He said, once you get put in a witness protection program, they can never let you go. I Googled it. They can't. And they have to pay you. And they can put you in another witness protection program, but they have to talk to you first. Otherwise, you stay an informant for life. They go to the Department of Justice, put them in jail for trying to drop you. And he said, as far as that agent saying you can't tell anybody, I said, well, they already knew. He said, I don't care. He said, he's only law enforcement. It takes a sitting judge to put a gag order on you. He don't have that kind of authority. He was only bullying you so they get away with it. That's it. And he said, as far as him bullying you into false statements, he said the police know they can't go along with it, and they can't go along with him telling you can't say anything. They know better. It takes a sitting judge. And then a sitting judge to take your freedom of speech away, it has to be by law, sequestered juror or grand jury. And just till the trial's over. We don't live in a communist country. These people think that we're a retired Judge Pete and the drug cartel can set up like the new mafia. Nobody's safe anywhere. So what the fuck were those agents laughing at? A human trafficking victim that's being scammed. Stop, she doesn't know. They let a serial killer go. That's where those two agents, where they said they need to go to jail for obstruction of justice. Oh, they need to go to jail for a lot more. A lot more. They need to go to jail for badgering, accessory to having somebody human trafficked and scammed, embezzlement. The guys that watched me, because he opened a real case, had an officer talk to Dave the next day, and carrying around the house started. I found out that will told everybody not to help me. If she won't be thinking she was sick and thinking she got well while that family was grieving, that was a lie Strange made up so my ex-husband could cheat at that church and I'd sit at home. And that family's so fucked up. Their father ran a stop sign and ran into a semi. Their dad would have been in jail for murdering that kid. He was showing off in front of the church people and ran that stop sign right into a semi. He'd been in jail for vehicular homicide if he would have lived. That's shame they're feeling. People would even talk around the church. That family has to deal with the shame of their father killing their kid. And then they wanted everybody to feel sorry for them because they're millionaires. Everybody did. 9 years later, on another church pulpit in Blaylocks, Ron got up. I hate God for taking the thing I love the most, not demeaning my other children. God didn't take him. Phil did. Phil, in his arrogance of being rich and showing off in front of the church people, ran a stop sign and cost him and his grandson his life. You can't feel sorry for him. I haven't even went to Lighthouse Tabernacle in 15 years. In 2011 or 12, I went over there for 2 services while I was going to Blaylocks. People are staring at me like this. I'm like, what? Some lady said, well, I heard you got into it with Katie. I said, I think we said hi to her in the mall once or twice. I haven't talked to her. Besides that, started giggling. Is that what's going on? I said, what's going on? They're like, never mind. I hate that game. Went out for a walk with Francis. I said, I can't, because they were making up a bunch of crap on me back then. I said, I can't figure out why people are making up all this stuff on me. She said, well, Mary hates you. That's Katie's mom. I said, why would she hate me? And I'm thinking about where I seen her. I said, I hadn't seen her in 8 years. She started laughing, smiled out like the Grinch that stole Christmas. She said, is that what's going on? I said, what's going on? She's like, you don't know? I said, no, what? She went, never mind, and busted out laughing. See, they run around lying, and they tell everybody lies. And it's just like where I went to church. Jim Pridgett came up to me. He said, I work with this guy, his last name's English. Goes to that lighthouse. He said, I hear all day long how you're on drugs and you're drunk and you're crazy. I come to church and you're fine. I said, I haven't seen him in 8 years. Stop listening to him. He's just lying. See, they just lie. They're the godless people. They're not godly people. They're godless. They're in a cult like Jim Jones, David Koresh, Charles Manson. Now, I haven't been there since 2003 except for those 2 services. They hunted me down and had a drug cartel try to kill me 4 different times. And when that didn't work, they came up with them stalking me, photoshopping me, date rape drugging me, and telling me to say stuff. So what the flying fuck were those agents laughing at on a recorded line? Stop. She doesn't know. Huh? Laughing at a human trafficking victim that they're scamming in her own home. So the FBI laughs at human trafficking victims. That women are being stalked in their own home by the drug cartel? Crackheads? Crackheads are breaking in, date rape, drugging me, telling me say stuff? Photoshopping shower scenes? Crackheads. Running a scam on a victim that church is trying to have killed and hired him. Crackheads. And they're laughing at a human trafficking victim that isn't realizing what's happening to them. I went to Altman Family Physicians. I'm like, I got all these bruises. Did you fall? No. I don't know where they're coming from. Maybe you're becoming anemic. We'll get you on iron pills. I have this headache. I'm throwing up. I'm dizzy. I lost 18 pounds. My personal area is so infected they had put me on pills and creams. I could hardly go to the bathroom. That's how not funny it is. And they had to give me medication for that, and they're treating the symptoms. And here I'm being drugged, beat, and raped in my own home. What were they laughing at? And their tapes are so altered. I told you, March 2nd to the 3rd, 21, they told the neighbors, my car's bugged. FBI informant, like some guy said. Don't you ever forget you're an FBI informant. Don't ever forget who you are. They put 2 clips together, put her in a porn. It's not her, it's them. Okay? Then March 13, 21, Mercy Medical. They told the lady came in and said the only thing they had her on was adjusting herself. The guy said, that's sick. I said, no, it's funny. She just simply wiped off water with clothes on. With clothes on. And the guy said, that's sick. She said, no, she just brushed it off. They didn't have anything else. January of 22, a ladies group came down. We made a big mistake being in our home. Yeah, it's life in federal, bitch. Huh? Somebody had actually do their damn job. It's life in federal. You had me drug, beat, and raped. You sold kiddie porn and my grandkids go in the bathroom. It's life in federal. Huh? They said the lady group that came down in January 22 came down to verify. She's never said she did anything wrong before. We made a big mistake in her home. And when she wiped off the water, she went straight down. She didn't expose herself. And those people raped her. None of this is funny. Where do people think it's funny that an occult's hiring the human trafficking cartel to victimize people? That's where those people said those 2 agents need to go to jail for obstruction. Oh, a lot more. Because where did they get the log into the case? They sold it for $25 a pop. How'd they get the technology of hearing me through my phone or my car speakers? They sold it across the nation, made millions. They're that dirty. They're selling federal information. Huh? That's where May 25th, 21, 6 p.m., Wendy's crew were talking about the church people breaking in before drugging her, tell her, say where to molest her stuff. That's not funny. 8, 9, 21, the apartment building for me, second close offense. A lady and little girls actually ratted out Dave, where he defends me during the police investigation. When people are coming up saying I have bruises and I've been throwing up, that they had drugged me and told me say all kinds of crazy stuff, I had Dave verify an illegally bugged house. I've never hurt anybody. He said, Karen, you wouldn't hurt anyone. You're good to everyone. No matter who it is. You go to the kids, you go to the grandkids. You won't hurt anybody. I expected him. Expected him to defend me, and he did. And I taped him, of course. Trust no man. Took that one to heart. Okay? They did it. 4 or 5 neighbors after 8, 9, 21 did a police report. I was drugged and told to say at 1295 Fairlawn. Screamed down, talked to several people. All right. December 9, 21 at a Oakland apartment at 4 p.m. They told him everything was drugged and photoshopped and it's just a bunch of men doing crimes down here. Same day, white man bald with dark eyes distributing food at the Stark County Hunger Task Force on 9th Street. There's only 4 or 5 volunteers. Can't found him. They always knew the tapes before were them and not her, and by Christmas of 21, investigators were in there, and they said it was some guy named Eric doing it to me, and they didn't know who he was yet. Okay? November 2nd or 3rd, 21, an African-American lady in Save-A-Lot told everybody she found out everything was them and not me, and told everybody not to say a word to me. My client in Navarre, her next-door neighbor, the White House before, March of 22, they told her that retired Judge Pete ordered everything to be drugged and photoshopped and made up on me. She told the police and investigators and a lady from the Canton FBI. They told me to keep an eye on her after she left the office. You want to play? May 12th, 22 at noon. 4 or 5 men. We found a tape of those boys emitting a shower scene in the other room. May 26, 22. My phone's tapped. Records if I'm on it or not. FBI informant. The shower scene was done on purpose to make you look weird with yourself. March 24th, 22. 3 apartment building foremen. They're out there screaming. You framed her before? Yeah, we framed her before. Shame on you. I know we wouldn't have done it. Those people even raped her. Amy, my next door neighbor, she's like, Karen, I could hear that clear in my own apartment. They were out in North Canton talking about it because they sold it. Everything. In millions. November 18, 22, Eric comes in Walmart 62. 2 to 6 p.m. by the hair salon. All the tapes before were me and not her. It was my idea to come up with it, my idea to do it, and my idea to say it. For all these people turn on her, they fell for it. Well, if it's only you, I could take care of it. I know it's that bad, and they still fell for it. June 7th, 23, the cult makes fun of the FBI. In Walmart 62, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, FBI agent John fell for the stunt of the tapes before. Oh, come on now, it was only a stunt. You mean that FBI agent actually fell for that? It was a stunt. John fell for it. Is that what's going on? FBI agent John actually fell for the stunt I teased before. Ha 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 ha. July 9th, 23, Trinity Gospel. Women admit to selling the login, made a ton of money off of it. And the FBI wouldn't dare fix this after what one of their agents did. I was never faking I was sick. It was a medication error, verified by doctors. They told me soon in 2003 they were ripping me and Dave off, falsely diagnosing me, keeping me sick, giving me the wrong prescription so I'd have to keep coming back, and I kept getting sicker and sicker and sicker. And once I got off of him, got on with a doctor that said the same thing, you need to sue him. Encouraged Dave and I to sue him for 2 years. Okay? They almost killed you. Took me 9 months of working out, and I got well 2 months later, and Strange made it up 4 more months later. So Dave could sit in that church by himself and date whoever he wanted. It was a scam for Dave to cheat. Strange made up. It took me 9 months of working out to get well. Nothing to do with nothing. And 2 months after that traffic accident, Strange lied. He lied on Dave White that he blasphemed God, tried to kill himself, just switched churches. Lied on Ron that he was cheating with Katie. He lied on Heather that she cheats on Nate, and she loves Nate to death. I want you to think about this. He lies on everybody. Like he said, he owned a building. He ruled that place with lies and fear, and he lied on me, and they lapped it up like shit and a dog eating it. That's how bad this is. How could an agent fall for a drug scam? Think about this. I bet he just thought, some victim, I can use her for a sap and a sucker. He stole $290,000 from my case without the sell of the login. He's that dirty. Like I said, he's actually that corrupt.